I've got a new rule.
What is it?
I'm not going to watch movies or TV shows that are about movies or TV shows.
Fair.
Have you noticed this?
Dude, they're running out of ideas. There's nothing out there that they can get money to produce anything for.
I have an exception.
What's an example of a
I can't think of the names.
show?
I was flipping through Apple Plus. Seth Rogen has a show about being a movie producer.
The studio.
There's a George Clooney, Adam Sandler movie out that's I didn't even start it. I watched the Seth Rogen, a couple episodes of the Seth Rogen one. It was beautifully shot.
Yeah.
But the idea of a movie about a movie, I got into movies and I went to film school because I wanted to escape reality and not think about being like, and a good movie is forgetting that you're watching the movie and being immersed in that world.
Yep.
When you're watching a fucking show about a show or like
I can go a step beyond that.
Like a song about a song, fuck that shit.
So so many movies are about being in the fucking movie industry. And I'm like, I don't want to know how awesome it is to be a fucking, like a celebrity. I get it. Like, I get that it's fucking rad. I don't need to know about that. I don't need to watch that. I don't enjoy it. And it is so much. Now, a screenplay writer or whoever's doing this shit, I'm sure you got to understand, they live in LA. Like, this is you write what you know.
Right.
And these people are living this fucking life, so that's what they're writing. They see something funny and it creates a story in their head, but still, I'm with you.
There's one exception to my rule, and that's Boogie Nights.
Okay.
It's kind of a movie about a movie, but I don't think it's necessarily like Hollywood movie.
That's about the porn industry.
Right.
That's not the same thing.
Well, that's my exception.
Fair.
I was watching some documentaries and a lot of music documentaries. The bands end up getting in fights with A&R and music business, and then they write whole albums about being pissed about.
Yeah,
I think that's the same concept.
Agreed.
It takes you out of what you're trying to escape from, and it kind of gets bitchy,
dude. Like, so I've gone most of my life loving kind of the works of Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah,
but a lot of his shit is how awesome LA is, and like then he was like saying that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood would be the second to last movie you'd ever make, and I'm like, why you gotta make a whole fucking movie about being an actor in Hollywood? Like, where you're literally casting Margot Robbie, who's one of the smoke shows of today, to play Sharon Tate, one of the smoke shows of yesterday. Like, why can't you just like Inglourious Bastards is a fucking absurd maniac shit that I loved about Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
Even Pulp Fiction had some of it in there. Like it was worked in, but most of it was still the grimy LA drug scene with a hitman and fucking drug dealers. So, but then you have to do Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and talk about how great it is. I get it, dude. Hollywood's great, man. I'm sure it's fucking awesome.
Are you with us on this? Do you have any frame of reference?
That show, the movie Babylon?
Well, I'm just trying to get the counter view, and the counter view would be that there are people that are interested in Hollywood. I get that Nick doesn't like it, doesn't want to know about the backstory of what happens.
Trevor started this. Why you got?
Yeah, no. I'm saying that you echoing a view, and I'm just saying that I think there are. I don't really care. I do watch documentaries though. I'm selective. I
love documentaries, but like, do you watch documentaries about making documentaries?
No. But
that's what he's talking about.
No, I know, but he's also talking about movies, and you've gone on to about how great Hollywood is, and there are movies about Hollywood, right? And the reality is that I don't watch them. I don't really care for them, but I'm pretty sure there's a large enough audience that actually does want to know about how Steven Spielberg made E.T., for example, and so which is what you're kind of getting to, right?
No, that's not what he's getting to.
There's people that want to watch that.
That's not what he's getting to. There is a lot of people who...
I don't understand the E.T. thing.
There are a lot of people who... That's a documentary.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoy watching, like, the Back to the Future, the making of Back to the Future.
Not the movie
That's not what
E.T.
we're talking about. What we're talking about is a screenplay where they make fictional stories about making fictional stories. Like, The Studio is a show Seth Rogen made that's about a fake television or movie studio making fake television movies and dealing with the personalities of fake actors and actresses. So where he's saying is there's a line that you can draw from being escapism and enjoying, you want to watch, Mork and Mindy or fucking Saved by the Bell. Something where it's like completely ridiculous. You're set some premise. Meanwhile, the other shows that we're talking about are like fictional. Hey, we're in Hollywood and this is what's going on. Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood actually does have a factual base to it. He took the Manson murders, but then he created a absurd, different history.
That movie what was it called? La La Land. Would that be where
Yes,
would that fit in?
That's another one that I don't care for. That's something where I'm like, I get it, bro. It's awesome to be a fucking actor dancing around in Hollywood. I get it.
Yeah.
But that's not escapism.
Because I couldn't. I tried to watch it because it won so many awards, but I really couldn't. I was on a plane actually trying to watch it because I had nothing else. I thought, let me just do this because it won so many awards. But I really don't see the point of that.
Yeah.
It's like having a podcast about a podcast.
Which also is a thing. So the first example that popped in my head when you were talking about it is there are so many fucking podcasts where they're revisiting whatever show they had before. Like, so The Office Ladies is the first one that popped in my head where she played Pam, Jenna Fisher, and Angela Kinsey, who played Pam and Angela on The Office, did an entire podcast where they went show by show talking about what happened in each show. Then you could get even deeper where there's podcasts that talk about, like Family Guy made a joke about it with Walking Dead. So you had the Walking Dead zombie show. Immediately after you had The Talking Dead, which was them having a show talking about what just happened. Then they had the show that talks about the talking show that was talking about the Walking Dead show. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you people have nothing to do with your lives. Like, what are you doing?
In their defense, I think that they're catering to everybody else that doesn't have anything going on in their lives and wants to actually sit down and watch that shit.
Fair.
So, like, they're just...
I mean, obviously...
I'm very upset to have to admit this, but I love Rick and Morty. And when I purchase the uncensored deal on Apple so that I can get it earlier before than watching on Hulu, after every episode, there's an episode about the episode. And it's like... What the fuck's the point?
Are you embarrassed that you like Rick and Morty?
No, the episode about the episode.
Okay, fair.
I'm disappointed that they're doing that, but
Rick and Morty.
But that means that the people that are watching Rick and Morty have the time to sit around and watch the making of the episode, which I think is bullshit and a waste of time.
Rick and Morty deserves having that because what that show is they are taking true philosophy, like actual philosophical ideas, and they're putting them in a way that is a fucking absurd cartoon of, like dick and fart jokes. So it's making deep, hard to understand philosophical ideas available to the masses. I know that because I'm one of those masses. Like, there are some philosophical ideas that were tough for me to get my head around until I see a Rick and Morty episode where they're like, here's the idea we were talking about. I'm like, holy shit. Now
you're talking about like theoretical physics? Philosophical?
Theoretical physics is not philosophy.
No, I know, but I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
What I'm saying
is the show's broken. I think the show's broken down into three aspects. One of them, most importantly, being psychological with family relations, and that goes their intricacies go fucking deep with the whole family stuff.
Well, and then what I'm specifically looking at, I mean, I agree the science stuff is cool. The family dynamics and psychology is something that I've noticed but haven't really looked into.
It's intense.
But the philosophy is fucking intense.
Okay.
Like the spaghetti episode where the idea is that in this planet, if you kill yourself, you turn into the most delicious spaghetti. And then it goes down what would happen. And it brings it circled to a point to where Rick proves how to stop it by just making everybody not want it anymore. So you face what's actually going on, and everybody who was, knew what was going on but never really faced it could still eat the spaghetti. And then when they see it coming from a person who had a life and had love and had loss, and now they're dead and you're eating their spaghetti, they're like, yeah, we're fucking out, and they just stop buying it.
Don't they replace it with something else at the end?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they show.
And they don't know where they don't want to know where it comes from.
Yes. I mean, that's what they always do, but that's what Rick and Morty does. Is
Yeah.
they show this philosophical point, and then they also show that nobody really gives a shit. They just move forward anyway.
I'd be curious to sit down and watch Rick and Morty with PR.
I don't think he'd get it.
I don't think he would either.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I would. It looks like it's too intensely philosophical.
And it's crammed into 22 minutes. It's fucking nonstop crazy shit going on, and it's completely entertaining in other ways. I think that's part of why it succeeds. Is you get it where, like, kind of like The Simpsons were a progenitor of this. I think where it's got enough comedy on its surface that a lot of people can watch it and enjoy it and laugh, and then it's got this deeper level where if you're looking for it and you enjoy that kind of thing, you can put 2 and 2 together and also enjoy it there. So I love Rick and Morty. I've spent a lot of time trying to find other works of art that do the same thing, kind of take philosophical ideas and create more of a comedic, understandable to me at least, approach to these philosophical ideas, because some of them are kind of deep and tough for me to understand.
Well, philosophically, what are your rules on tipping?
I mean, I think we may have talked about this, and I don't think we're on the same level. I'm usually at least 30% tipper.
Okay.
I start at 20.
Do you actually do math, or do you just like pick kind of
I
like
do the math. It's easy.
and then round it to
All you
a
do is-
0 or a 5?
All you do is the first 3 digits multiplied by 3. It's 30%. So if it's $20, $2 multiplied by 3, it's $60. It's 30%.
What are your rules?
My rule is typically, I'd say 20% is when I've had relatively good service. I'm not over the moon impressed, but it's been good. So I'll say 20%. I do then go, my maximum is, most instances is 25%. I do feel though that there's sometimes when I'm at Fids, for example, I'm not going to give the guy 25% because he's, I give him a number.
Yeah.
Because I'm having a beer, and the beer I buy around, maybe, let's say it's $40. I honestly can't give him $8. I just feel that it's not right. So
It's
I normally
too much.
too little. I feel
Yeah, I
because
was gonna say.
he's running around.
Well, also, PR, Fids doesn't count. Let me jump in and say that. When we're talking about this tipping thing, at Fids, I routinely give more than 100%.
Yeah.
Because at Fids, we're talking about a place where anybody sitting here walks in, and there could be people everywhere, and they look at us and go, what do you want? Like, they will point us out. We get absolute top-notch service,
Yeah.
in my opinion, at Fiddlers
Yeah.
because of who we are. So I think he's really talking about not like at a normal place.
So the rule is that 20%, if it's good, 25%. But if I'm in a place, and Fiddlers is one, Vinia is another, I'm not giving them the 25%. But there's I can say probably on my one hand, I can count the places that I go to where I give them a number based on, just on how, even if I drink for $10, I'm still gonna give them $20. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
If I'm drinking for $100, I may give him $30 or $40. I won't double it, but I'll give him a good number.
Yeah.
But
It's interesting you guys say Fids lately because I've been drinking water. I guess I de-quantify water, and I just do $1 a bottle.
I think that's fair.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm like, you're passing me water across the.
Yeah, I think
like
that's
you're
fair.
not serving me at a table.
I think that's totally fair. That's what I'd do.
Okay.
During my sober months, I'm like $1 or $2, like whatever. This is different, and they.
Well, I guess then what's the difference between water and alcohol?
yeah, I would definitely give them more
Well,
than that. I would say they're serving me.
A
They're there.
Jaeger bomb is an art form.
Okay.
First of all,
right,
okay?
I got that.
Also, making
Just like a
me
cocktail.
is a fucking art form.
Got it.
Now,
If it's a beer,
Bottle of beer.
beer, I'm paying for, in my opinion, I guess we're strictly talking about Fids. So at Fids, when we go today after recording and I get a drink or two, I'm not paying tips for those drinks. I'm
You're paying
tipping
for being
the
there.
relationship of me and this bar that has happened for the last 10 years and will occur in the future for the next fucking 10 years.
So that's why I won't agree with Trevor on giving the guy at Fids $1 for a water, or if you're at Vinia. I would agree though if you're at a normal restaurant, Yeah. Whatever it is, you're going to give them, I would say 20% if it's good service on a water. How much is the water? $5?
7.
$7? Yeah. So
Which
I would
is
say.
fucking
Yeah.
rape.
Yeah, but
I mean-
the service from that person is no different whether they're giving you a bottle of beer or a bottle of water.
Right.
And the fact that you choosing to have a sparkling water.
Well, I'm
you
choosing
know-
to have a sparkling water because I'm scared shitless of the fucking tap water that comes out of the dirty spigot.
No, I agree with that, but you're having,
I mean,
you're having a drink.
I would get a sparkling water anyway for the purpose of being able to tip a little bit. At least.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like during sober months, sometimes I'm like, you gotta go get me something so that I can fucking tip you for helping me and doing all this bullshit. Like I can't just not have anything. Or there have been nights where some people, like other people, buy me the drinks the whole time, and I'm like, I don't even have a tab. You got to fucking ring me up so that I can tip you for all this bullshit that you did.
But this is on the high side of tipping. On the low side, though, the thing that gets me going on tipping is when I get a coffee, for example, right? Now, they literally have poured a cup of coffee. I can see that. I've just said to them, I want a black coffee at Starbucks or CFS or one of these places, right? And it's $5.
Yeah.
And then I get the square reader presented to me, and it has 15, 20, 25% or other.
Right.
And I just think to myself, I shouldn't be giving you anything really, because I'm standing at the
Kind
counter.
of blows my mind because I don't really see the difference between coffee, water, or alcohol.
I mean,
No,
I think
I'm
you guys are all
no,
out of your mind.
no, in this
you
instance-
wouldn't want to hang out with me.
No, but
How
in this
much I
instance,
fucking
I'm
tip.
actually standing at the counter.
Yes.
Yeah.
You haven't when we're talking about places, there's a server that's actually coming around. There's service.
Fids, I go up to the bar and get a thing of water, and they grab my card, and it's
Yeah,
less
pretty,
than like a 30-second.
His experience
Yeah.
at Fids is pretty
Yeah.
close to what you're saying.
So I'm saying that when I go to a coffee shop, but when I go to Fids, I typically don't do that. And almost I'd say it's a 50-50 thing, and it's the rapport that we have, and I'm paying for that whole thing. But when I'm at a coffee shop, for example, if I'm sitting down at New General, for example, then I don't mind. I'm gonna give you a tip. It's for the service I'm paying you. I'm paying you for
I
the
agree.
service. But if I'm actually standing at a counter, you have made my coffee and you've given it to me over the counter, I'm like, that's your job.
I tip like
Why
crazy.
why would I be tipping you for
coffee?
that?
I tip so much. Like I walk into Lineage and I walk up to the counter and I get a coffee and I buy beans and I tip fucking 25% on the whole.
That's
fucking
crazy.
thing.
Yeah.
I
You're
tip
tipping on the
every-
beans as well.
I tip on the whole thing. They're fucking service industry workers. They don't like it is what it is. We're all supposed to be in this together, in my opinion. I have no problem with it. When I have absolute atrocious service, I still tip 20%.
Do you get tipped as a lawyer?
No, I mean I'm a business owner. Business owners don't really get tipped.
No.
As a business owner, it's all just revenue. So because you're creating an atmosphere. I mean, you know more than anybody. You get a fucking tip here. Is
Yeah.
that really a tip?
Well,
you're
no,
you
I-
own the
like,
business. It's income.
I get tipped for haircuts. I don't do anything. The tips just sit,
Yeah.
in the bank. I don't take them out or anything.
Yeah, I mean, well,
I do have. There is some weird tipping stuff with, what do you call it? Not etiquette, like historical etiquette. And I've looked this up at some point. It's been a while, so I'm a little gray. At some point it was an insult to tip the owner of a business, like a service business. So I brought it up with my tattoo artist, and I'm like, "You're the owner of this. That's not an insult, right?" And we had the discussion. And then I have had one or two personal clients in the barbershop that have brought it up and brought up the historical deal of, I'm not supposed to tip the owner. And I'm like, that's bullshit. But
yeah, I think anything of that fucking it's offensive to tip, like when I was in Japan, is some relic of some fucking bullshit people trying to keep working man down.
didn't you say that it was supposed to be offensive to tip, but you tipped anyway and everybody was
Do you
cool
know
with it?
every fucker that I talked to that had ever been in Japan? And I think also it comes with who I am. People see how I am. Like people can feel when we go to Vinia for the hop and shit like that. Like I tip a lot everywhere I go. Like I tip my barber and the woman who does my facial, both more than 50%. Like I tip Vinia fucking 100% when we're in there for the hop. So everybody tells me before I go to Japan, it's offensive to tip in Japan. And Linda,
Everybody from the United States
who had
tells
been
you.
there, and I'm like, so I get there, and and Linda's like, yeah, it's offensive, and I'm like, we'll fucking see about that. We'll see about cash money if somebody's offended that I'm giving them cash. And sure enough, I'm in a taxi when we're leaving the airport. That would be the perfect fucking example because the guy was 185 years old. So he's been around when it was offensive to get a tip. And I reach over and I go, I think we gave him an extra 100 yen, which is $10, I think, at the time, something like that. I'm like, here you go. Or 1,000 yen, which was $10. I go, here you go. He goes, oh, arigato. I'm like, see you next time. And I get out and I go, did that look like that guy was fucking offended to you? And the whole 14 fucking days, including 2.5 days in a place called Hakone, which is a traditional onsen community with people who don't have Americanized shit. Everybody, with the exception of one person, was fucking beaming to take tip money. Like, loved it. One younger girl who worked at a coffee shop in Tokyo that had 4 cameras face down on her, she's like, I can't take tips.
Oh.
Can't take tips. And I was like, Linda, she's the only one who said no, and it's because she has 4 cameras with some traditional fucker watching her, making sure she doesn't take tips. That's the only person that was offended by tips. To me, that the owner of now I do think the owner of to you, a tip is not a tip, it's just revenue.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a fucking barber, you're getting paid, I'm assuming, some hourly rate or some salary, and a tip is like, awesome, this is more money for me. For you as a barber who owns the shop, this is just revenue.
Right.
But at the same time, it's more fucking revenue. It's more appreciation for what you do. And it's a discretionary amount that your customer is giving you because you did a good job. I don't see how in any fucking realm, anywhere, that could ever possibly be offensive. For more resources for a job well done, who does that offend?
So do you tip if, for example, you have a guy who insists on taking your cart out at Publix, and they say no
they
tip
don't.
policy.
They're pretty adamant about not taking the money.
Yeah, so I'm just taking.
Well,
so what does Nick does?
I don't. So I rarely carry cash, so I wouldn't be able to tip that person. But in candor, I've never had somebody take my groceries out. Now, I've never shopped for more than 2 people. Never had kids, obviously. And really, I shop piecemeal, and that doesn't happen. But also, by the way, I go to Publix once a month because I do Instacart every fucking day. So I never go to Publix anymore, and I tip the shit out of Instacart drivers. Yeah. People who handle my food in their cars get monster tips. I want to be remembered. I want them not to fucking jizz and spit and do whatever the fuck they're gonna do to my food. My food handlers always get taken care of.
I think those delivery services they've taken tipping to the other extreme. So I have strong views on that. They actually want you to tip them, and they get offended if it's just $5. That's a whole lot of that's taken tipping now to a whole new level where it's almost become bullying. And I don't use those delivery services anyways. But on the Publix thing, my wife and I had that conversation a couple of months ago. And she tips them, and I said that is wrong. They don't want you to tip them. And she had Nick's view, which is nobody's going to tell me what to fucking do with my money, and I'm going to give somebody. And she's and
I gotta.
But let me just finish the point, right? The issue with Japan. When I went a couple of years ago, I had somebody who was our guide in each city, and we asked her. And she was emphatic that they find tipping offensive, and we're not to tip them, and so we did not tip anyone, and the service we got was always outstanding. Then, subsequently in 2024, I went to Italy, and with a few other couples from the US, and there, I actually went on to ask them. They make it very difficult for you to tip. So actually,
in Italy?
In Italy, they make it very difficult because what happens is that when you get your check, when you put your credit card there, there's no opportunity for you to tip them, right? And so I'm like, because the service I was having there was just extraordinary.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would say to me, we do not accept tips, but if you really want to tip us, and we don't want you to, then you have to leave cash. That's the only option. And that to me tells me that the system is built not to tip them. And they would say that the people that are serving, and I want to use the word lady because in this instance it was a lady who was at a coffee shop. And, I just found I used to go there every morning, and so I got to know her. And I really felt, I got to know her. She was talking to me like broken English. And, and I found that I wanted to leave something. And every morning I'd go there for coffee and it would be, €2 or something like that. And that's all I'd pay at. I'm like,
so really what you're saying is the people that work at the coffee shops in the United States are assholes and they don't try to connect with you, so you don't want to tip them anything.
No, I'm saying that that the tipping system here is almost obligatory, that it's built in.
It is built in.
The system, I don't even get the check. I'm getting the first screen that says 15, 20, 25%.
You guys understand that our system is built into that.
I want to jump back to your wife at Publix. If I was a Publix cart person and your wife said you're taking this tip, I would take the tip. She scares the shit out of me.
Well, no, but that's what with Nick is that she says, listen, nobody's going to tell me what to do with my money.
Exactly.
She was saying that, right? But also the person that she gave it to was very grateful. And I'm like,
of course they are, because it's fucking money. Like, that's my point. For anybody to create a cultural mores that tipping is somehow offensive to the person receiving it, it's ridiculous to me. Like, to me, that is absurd. Because anytime you gain resources, especially if you are in a service position with the person that you're serving of any kind, bag person, coffee person, resource acquisition is not offensive. Like, so I guess you're going back to some fucking primal period where it's like, I don't take charity from you, I guess. But still, your experience and my experience couldn't have been more different in Japan. They were over the moon.
I wonder if it has something to do with accents and where you're perceived to be from.
It totally could be that they see that I'm a fucking rootin' tootin' American and I sound like, and I'm 6 foot tall and fucking the hair and shit. And they're like, yeah, this guy's gonna tip the shit out of me. I'm ready to rock. Like, it could be. And then they hear you and they're like, it's just a South African. He's not gonna fucking tip shit.
Yeah. Or it's that fucking American again. There he goes. He's gonna do whatever the fuck he wants. Yeah. And that to me is probably the fact that you're saying the guy was all grateful about it. That is the Japanese way. They're grateful about everything. They're super respectful. I mean, I think we talked about that whole idea of being Shintoists, right?
Yeah.
And they are respectful of everything, everyone, the trees, the water, the whole thing. So I think when they saw you come in, and even if you didn't tip them, they were still going to bow at you and be grateful. And I think that was the experience I had. But I'm very mindful whenever I'm at somebody's house or when I'm traveling, I'm very mindful of what the etiquette is. And so to me, the etiquette there, and I cleared it with the person that was kind of my guide. And then when I was in Italy, I really did want to give them. I was spending a lot of time in each city, and I really wanted to give it to somebody, and they just said to me, there's no system designed.
Well, let me tell you, your Italy story, what it does to me is it just makes me fucking panicked. Because if I was there, that just means I have to go to the fucking ATM all the time. That would be a pain in the ass for me.
So you know what I did? I actually drew sufficient cash, right? I went to an ATM.
Well, the way I tip, bro, I'd have to. I'd hit the max. I have to go back.
Yeah, but I did. I felt that I really. And the reality is I'm not tipping everyone, right? In reality, when I go to a good restaurant, the service was great. The system is not built for it, and they don't have one server coming at you. They have multiple servers at you. Who am I going to tip? The whole business? No. So I'm not. And there's no the credit card machine doesn't allow a number to be put in. So then I don't bother. But there were times, for example, if I'm doing a tour, right? And at the end of the tour, I've been through, for example, a beautiful museum, and I'm totally impressed with the service I've gotten from the lady that's done the tour. There's no opportunity for us to tip which is awful, right? Now, normally you would think,
Yeah.
there would be a collection box or something, right? So now I'm going to reach into my pocket, right, and go, privately, because I know that there's a group of 5, 6,
I mean,
7
that's
of
what
us
I
or
did
whatever.
in Japan.
And I
with
just
all
go
of our
up
shit,
there and
yeah.
I'd say, this is for you. Thank you very much. And then she would be, yes, at that moment, she'd be grateful, right?
Mhm.
She's not like, oh, this is not,
So you think your argument to me is that the people I tipped in Japan, because I'm American, for my benefit, were like, "Oh, thank you very much. That was very, very kind of you." And then they go home and they're like, "Fucking American."
No,
offended
no,
me.
no.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
Give me a break.
no, I'm not saying that.
I don't
Yeah.
think they say
Yeah.
fucking.
I'm
fuck-
sure they pile the fucking money on their dresser and go, "Fucking stupid, fucking American."
I don't think they say
offending me.
stupid fucking
I don't need
American.
their
I think
fucking
they
charity.
say, yeah, I'll take that fucking money from that American.
Yeah,
I think so too.
No,
Fine.
no,
But I think they
they're
go
taking
home
that.
and say, fucking American, I'll take that money. I'll take the money.
You will not get an argument that everybody in every other country right now is going home after that and going, fucking American, fuck you. Absolutely. My point is they're not offended. They're not sitting there going, oh man, they treated me like a fucking piece of garbage by giving me a tip. That's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like that just is so counterproductive.
Well, what are your rules on picking up the tab? We kind of know your rules, and we'll get into it. But like, what are your rules on? Do you have rules on picking up a tab
So
for a group?
for a group, yeah. So the golden rule, my golden rule is that
God. Jesus
I
Christ.
don't. It's a simple one. If there's chicks in the group, right, I'm picking up the tab. There's no way any chick is going to pick up a tab in a group setting with me, right? So I typically
Wait.
always pick it up.
What if there's like
So one single woman?
a mixed group? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't
so,
understand
Yeah, so if it's
What if it's like a couple of dudes and 3 chicks? You're going to go out of your way to get the tab.
No. If it's a few, the dudes. So typically, I'll work out the lay of the land, right? Is Nick picking up the tab here, or is? But if he's suggesting that, you know what, Amanda, you get your own tab, and whatever her name is going to get her own tab, then I'll just be like, hey, listen, I'm going to get this.
So you're waiting on Nick.
I
I'm gonna get this.
have never ever said what you just said.
No,
in
I'm,
my
I'm
entire
saying
life.
that there are
Even
times,
when I was poor, I
yeah,
was not.
There are times. I'm
saying
using you as an example. I'm saying that there are times when people want to always go Dutch, right? And all I'm saying is that if there's chicks in the group, so here's an example. The example was really that a couple of weeks ago, I was at Vinia. You know that Vinia is sold, right? I don't think I've told you guys this.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So-
told us all.
Anyways, so I went to.
I think you told us before you were supposed to tell us.
signed the documents for the insurance
Yeah.
for the insurance move, but I didn't say it on the podcast. Did I?
No, but I think the look in
There was-
Fabio's face when
There
I
was
was like, "Hey, man."
I noticed that.
Yeah,
I caught
when I was
that.
like, "Hey, man," the look on his face was like, how, he fucking knows. And I'm like, I go, "Oh shit!" In
Yeah.
my head, I go, "Oh."
Yeah, Fabio was. I was like, oh man.
Yeah,
So, anyways,
yeah. You remember?
yeah.
so then I left. So I got a call to say, hey, listen, you want to join us for some drinks? So I thought, okay, I'm on my way home. I'll join this group for a few drinks. I get there, and there's probably 8 or 9 chicks in the group, and there's no blokes there. So, and they've been drinking from 5 o'clock, and I get there at like 6:30, 6:45. So they're fairly into, cocktails and what have you. And I was thinking, am I going to break my rule today? Because that would have been a fairly hefty check that I was going to pick up. And then at 7 o'clock, I thought, what the fuck? I'm just going to get the bill. And that made me thinking, should I have broken my rule on that day? Should I have just said, listen, I just came in, I just had a beer, I'm just going to pay for my beer and leave?
I think so.
I mean, I would have. So my rule is don't go out unless I don't go out unless I'm expecting to pay the entire bill. And then sometimes you guys beat me to it. Sometimes, most of the time, I try to pay. But if I was walking into what you're talking about, I would go to the bar and I would just get my drink and I'd close out my tab per drink, which I do sometimes. I'd be like, yeah, just one beer, close it out because I got to get out of here soon. If I decide to get another one, I do the same fucking shit and just make sure I'm still around the party. But like something like the hop or something when we're at Fids and it's...
I tried to do that at the at the trivia night. Remember that? Amanda, I kept saying I'll I'll pay for this round, and I'm gonna take my and then yeah.
I mean, you can do that too.
That got pretty wild at the end of it because so for some reason did I leave my credit card? I think it was. What happened there?
No, you took your credit card and then you went back to open up again, and then you just
Left my credit card there.
Yeah, because they hold the credit card and you just forgot that they were holding it.
Yeah, so I was trying to do what you did, which is when I was really starting off the night, but after 2 or 3 beers into it, that was.
I mean, I've thought when it comes to FIDS, I've thought about because with Amex you can get employee credit cards that are hooked to the same account. I have one for Jamie. I have one for my wife. And I've thought about getting a third one that I just leave at Fiddler's Green. Like I'm like, here, just keep this credit card here.
That would be a
bad
idea.
I mean, you remember was it you or Ed? One of you guys I went and had a drink with, and I was like, shit, I don't have my fucking credit card.
With me.
Yeah. And I was like, you have to cover. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that was fine. But so I would agree with you in future because that has been on my back of my mind because I do have a rule about it. If there's a group of chicks, I'm definitely going to pay. I don't feel I feel that's kind of being my role as a man is making sure that that women are taken care of. And I don't want to sound
that's a little lame,
derogatory.
I don't like that,
but it's not about what the earning power is. I just think it's.
I wouldn't care if it's chicks or dudes. If I walk up,
out of
most
respect,
of the time I'm going to pay.
But the other night, I was thinking to myself, this should have been a rule I should broken. And I'm probably going to go the Nick way now in future. If I'm getting in at the tail end of a party, I'm just going to say, okay, I'm going to I'll have one beer, which is what I did.
Yeah. Or if I know I'm going to be there for a short period of time, whatever it is, that is a play that I do, which is walk up and go, hey, just one beer. Here's my card. I'll close it right now. And if I feel like getting another one, do it and close it right now. And then just not have an open tab. But most of the time it's like, let's fucking pay for the shit. Everybody party, have fun. The last thing I want is somebody absolute last thing I want is somebody feeling obligated to pay for the crazy fucking shit that I order because I refuse to change what I'm going to do because somebody else might be like, oh, Nick fucking ordered this crazy shit. Now I'm paying for it. Like, for example, going to lunch with like my wife's family, I'm like, I'm going to pay because I'm going to order exactly what the fuck I want, which is I'm not just going to order an old fashioned. I want an old fashioned with fucking Blanton's, which is ridiculous. Like, it's just a waste. You're setting money on fire. I like it. But I don't want to be judged for that, so I'm willing to fucking pay. Now, if you want to jump in front of me and try to pay, great, but you got to understand, when you go out with me, I'm not picking and choosing my food and drink based on who's paying for it. I'm fucking paying for it. So that's kind of where it's always come from for me. I'm of the opinion if I go out, I'm planning on paying for everybody. That's my
Trevor, what do you do with the chicks?
I think my rule.
Well, you don't drink anymore. Your rules are going to be completely different.
I can go back to what I used to do.
Yeah, fair.
And if I ever am out for like dinner or something.
True.
I think my rule was if you've been to my house, I would pick up the bill.
Oh, okay.
If I go out to a place and there's a bunch of people that that I'm not on the commonality of being at my house, then it was Dutch. But I think that was and I haven't really thought about defining it until now, but I think that's where I felt comfortable.
I think I go out with the idea that I'll always pay, but also with the idea that nobody else is going to pay for me. Like, I never go out expecting fucking anybody else to pay. Like, and with that doesn't come judgment. I'm not judging people because they don't do it. Everybody's got different financial situations. Everybody's got different shit going on.
I mean, do you really think people go out in this day and age that expect somebody else to pick up a tab?
Not at our age. But, I mean, I remember I have friends I can think of off the top of my fucking head that in our 20s and 30s would go out with the idea that they don't have any money and everybody else is going to take care of them.
Huh.
Now, they wouldn't sit there and order shit. They'd keep their mouth shut and just jump into the rounds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, like, they wouldn't do it in an offensive way. But I noticed it, and I was like, I just don't care.
Typically with families, that dynamic. So I remember... actually, recently I had some family over from Ireland, and we actually started to talk about this particular thing. So in a family setting, I had one relative that whenever he was in, had the family, he would invite groups. It was always at his instance. So he'd be traveling over to the country and he would offer, he would say, hey, listen, come and join us. And he'd book at the restaurant. And my sense is that if you're doing all of that, you inviting me and you book the restaurant and all of that, I would say that you picking up the tab for this thing.
That's probably my other rule too.
I agree with that.
If I have a mandate or a business date and I've done the invite, no matter how well I know the
100%.
person, because I reached out initially, I pick up the tab.
So I would still go to this fucking scenario.
I also use it real quick as I could use it as a message. And if I do invite somebody out and it's more serious, I might show up early, pre-buy my stuff, sit down for nonverbal communication.
That's intense. I never even that sounds like a nightmare. I would not want to do that.
So you were going to say something though.
I agree.
You'd pay.
I agree that if I'm creating,
You're invited.
If I'm creating the thing, I'm absolutely expecting to pay for everything. If I'm invited to something, I'm going with the expectation that I'm still paying for my own shit, but knowing in my head, well, first of all, paying for my own shit, knowing that I'm not paying for everybody because somebody else, that would be somewhere where I think you could be offended. If you were the business owner doing some fucking party and somebody else comes in and pays for everything, that's something that could fucking be
so
offensive.
here's the little family dynamic, because what happens in families, which I think it happens a lot more, is that there's always some family member over a period of 20 or 30 years that has this kind of aura about them, not necessarily financial standing, but when they invite people over, they're just going to pick up the tab, right? Because they've done the inviting. They've flown over, they're on vacation. They say, hey, listen, would all of you guys like to meet me at the hotel? Okay, fine. And then there's always, it's a week and a week of lots of lunches, breakfasts, dinners, and drinks. And that person over an extended period of time picks up the tab.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, the person decides, I think this is not right. I don't think I should pick up the tab. And we had this conversation with my my cousin's husband recently and said, I think that him picking up the tab was not right. And so he's no longer picking up the tab. And I'm just listening to this conversation. I'm like, nobody expected him to pick up the tab, really, right? Because obviously it's family. So nobody expected him to pick up the tab. But he created that thing that he picks it up. It's like with you, for example, right? Nick always picks up the tab. Now, if there's a time when all of a sudden we start going out and you just kind of keep your credit card in your pocket, you're like, what the fuck's going on with Nick? It's like there's an expectation over an extended period of time.
Yeah.
And he created that. Now, what he does is he says, at the end of the evening, okay, I'm just paying for, and he pays for his immediate family, right? And then everybody else is looking, oh fuck, because there's an established way in which he used to operate, and now he's broken that.
I've had one weird scenario where it was a couple, and how I am, I always fucking pay. I always pay, and I had a scenario where Linda was like, "Hey, I really think they don't like it. Like, I really think it. Like, I think if they don't like that, like, it's dissuading them from wanting to go out that you pay every single time." I'm like, fair, but I refuse to fucking change what I'm gonna order because you know what I'm saying. Like, and then I kind of feel I don't want to feel bad about what I'm doing. I don't want to feel bad about ordering a fucking $35 drink and a $50 dinner. I want to order what the hell I'm gonna order. So since then, it's been this. It's the only time where
they do one, you do one.
I go, yeah, we'll split it. Like,
Okay.
us and them, whatever. Us and them.
So I used to have that with a friend that he always would pay, and it would always be the four of us, and he'd always pay. And I used to also get that sense. But listen, I'm feeling uncomfortable with this idea. I didn't say anything, but I think my mannerisms started to say, listen, I actually think I'm going to get this one. And now it's been 4 or 5 years since we've changed that dynamic. Now it's kind of an unwritten rule that we remember who paid the last time, and then the next one I get.
Oh,
it,
that's cool.
And that's just become very easy now.
I had an interesting, now that you guys are bringing these up, a memory with Amanda. I had a little crew. It was actually, so I guess I have to be transparent. It was a barber crew. And as business was getting started, I regularly did things as the group, and I would pay for everything. And then one night we go out, and I'm realizing that people outside of the crew are tagging on.
Mm.
And in one very specific instance, there was enough of a balance of other people that I was
You mean
like,
not partners, like just friends of the barbers?
yeah, hard to describe, but yeah, pretty much. And it was actually more complicated because it was extended family.
Oh, so like a brother
And so I kind of made the split decision one night mid-meal. I'm only paying for Amanda and I, and it really caused a lot of confusion. And Amanda had a talk with me later. She's like, you can't set it up over such a long period of time that's how this is going to be, and then yank the
while you're there. I
Right.
can see that.
Like, when was I like, as far as how I operate, I do it here and now and 100%. And it was time to pull the.
It would be
pull
a
the plug.
terrible. What it would be is like a couple of days before you start, dropping
hints.
like, yeah, I would say the way I'd handle it is if I was like, this has gotten out of control and I don't want it to go away, I'd be like, hey, I like, even when everybody's here, or maybe one person not here, assuming they'd be told by the other barbers, I'd be like, hey man, these dinners are great, but they've gotten fucking out of control. So just so you know, I'm paying for, me and my wife. I hope you guys come out.
Yeah.
But or I'm paying for just the barbers. Everybody else is on their own. You know, you can't bring your fucking Aunt Linda over here and fucking whatever, making jokes about it, but getting the point across where don't be expecting that I'm paying this entire fucking thing anymore.
Right.
That's kind of the way that I would have handled it.
But in this particular instance as well, the family one that I'm talking about, that's how he pulled the break. It was actually at the end of a particular meal.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
He'd made the decision, but it was actually family that were invited, and he made the rule. He said, like, I only want immediate family. Like, it's not like, relative.
So he
made
dropped
the
it.
rule. No, I'm talking about before the invite was even sent out. He always says, he's traveling. He wants to see the immediate family, right? So you don't want to see, like, so if I want to see Nick and Linda, I want to see Nick and Linda, but I don't really want to have Linda's parents also accompanying you guys to it. So he kind of makes it like, keep it family only. You're not your
But if you
extended family.
dictate the people going,
Yeah. So like we put all those rules, and he booked the restaurants.
then he should probably.
And then he decided, you know what? I agree that I shouldn't be picking. Obviously, he decided that on his own, right? He didn't have the discussion, and he just said, I'm picking up the tab. I was like, and I believe that people were like, what the fuck, Now, it was not and the reality is that it's not a financial issue. In reality, it's not that. It's like,
of course,
you've done it for 25 years or 30 years. What are you doing now?
In my instance, to compare, I think you and me, Nick, or even PR, we were racing to get the bill at some point, and even doing it sneaky to be fun. In my instance, it became a expectation, and that's when for me I was like, this isn't like symbiotic anymore.
Well,
or like
different fucking, like, if it's us going out, like, and we know where we're at, we're all fucking business owners, shit, we got our shit together. If it's the three of us and our partners going out, let's say, and we're out fucking partying, that's when it's like fun, that it's a race for who's gonna pay, because it doesn't really fucking matter. There's no expectation, there's no compulsion here. But if it's your employees, or if it's your family, where that's the moray that's been set, that's a little bit different, I think, than the race. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, the problem with the race is that I'm fucking better at it than anybody. Like that race shit, I will always win.
Hey, I beat you a couple times.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I'm good at that shit. Real good. Like, I know the secrets. You go up early. You make jokes about that they're your client. Like, there's ways around it where a server is never going to go, oh, well, this is this client? I'm never going to fucking embarrass him in front of his client. Like, that kind of shit. And my card says PA, like I'm clearly a lawyer. Like, come on. I saw you doing hand signals.
All right, let's do some Motherfunkler nuggets.
Hey, I've got one impressive Turchies.
Turkey.
Yeah.
In College Park?
Which
yeah,
one?
I went to the one in College Park. So I
Small.
asked
It's small, right?
I asked Fabio, very, very small. Yeah. I asked Fabio about which one he thought was better, Fabio from Vinia.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he felt Turchi's College Park on Edgewater is better.
I agree. I've been to
So I
both.
can't say anything about Winter Park. I do want to try out Winter Park as well. But I went there, Yegs and I, exceptional. I tried a little bit of everything. And so here's the thing that I should not be eating, and I do eat at my age. I try not to eat the bread,
Mm-hmm.
and in most instances, the bread is so bad I can actually just skip it.
Yeah.
The bread at Turchi's is exceptional.
It's so good.
It is extraordinarily good because it's authentically Italian. It's the way they make it in Italy, man. It's just outstanding. So I had more bread than I should have, and they just bring it with a little bowl of really good olive oil, which is the way it's traditionally done.
Yeah.
Not with, you don't put any balsamic in there, you don't throw any salt. It's beautiful. So the bread service that they do is outstanding, and I knew now this was going to be the start of a really good, authentic Italian evening.
Did you see the grandma making the pasta?
No, I didn't.
Right behind that glass. in
Yeah,
the
but I
front
was
row?
sitting in that little passage there
Yeah, I
because I
know.
was a table for two.
That's where I usually sit too. But if you look, the grandma's there making the fucking pasta while you order.
Yeah, because in that big area,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I know that she would have been there. But anyways, I had the bruschetta, which was my starter, and it was just plain the way I like it. It was done also again authentic. I had the gnocchi. It was
Super green, bro.
it was a purple sweet. It was
Oh.
a purple.
Oh.
What is that potato that you have?
Sweet
Sweet
potato.
Sweet potato. It was a purple sweet potato, so it had like a purple tinge to it.
Yeah.
It was outstanding. That was a gnocchi, and then I had the duck, which was wrapped in like a prosciutto, with a beautiful pasta on the side. It was outstanding, and then I finished it off with the tiramisu, and they bring you the tiramisu, right, and then they bring you a little espresso, which you can add, and it was, I love Italian food. I think they it's probably my favorite dish. And Turchi's do it authentically well. They know their pasta is freshly made, like you say, right? So the pasta is outstanding, but the entire experience is authentically Italian. Highly recommend.
Let me tell you, the two that I go for there, the truffle ravioli appetizer, which is going to be mushroom raviolis with truffle and olive oil, and you get 4 raviolis. I think it's the best fucking dish like that I could think of Italian that exists. I usually go for the lasagna because they bake it in its own little skillet. It's so unreal. I know it's not that traditional Italian like you're talking about, but God, it is so freaking good. And then, of course, the bread. I also, they have the King Mushroom Paradelli. It's fantastic. I know that. The beef Wellington there is great. I've had it there. It's one of the few places you can get a beef Wellington. So I love that place. That place has been on my list for a while. You ever been, Trevor?
I have. Amanda and I went date night years ago. It wasn't magical dining. I feel like I've talked about this before. It wasn't magical dining, but it was like a magical dining menu.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a filet inside of some covering. I don't think it was pasta.
I mean, it wasn't beef Wellington, was it?
I don't think so.
Beef Wellington is going to be beef tenderloin with puffy crust and like a mushroom.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, you probably had the Wellington then.
It was good, and I didn't make it through the entire meal. It was like a 3-course kind
Oh,
of
it's
thing.
too much. Yeah.
And took half of it home, and we had wine. They did a pairing. You did an upcharge for a pairing, and it was pretty badass. Although I do have to say, I really don't like Italian food, like at all.
Oh yeah.
But
I love it.
like thoroughly enjoyed the, I guess, beef Wellington.
I love it. Well, yeah, beef Wellington obviously is not going to be Italian, but it's at that Italian place.
Yeah.
They do it. I mean, Italian food is going to be heavy. I try to do it sparingly, but it's American Italian food, I guess you could say, is heavy. In Italy, I think it's much more seafood
It's a
forward.
lot more. It's a lot lighter. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not creamy and
Yeah,
all that. Yeah.
but God, it's
there's a spice that I don't like.
Oregano.
It's probably oregano. Yeah,
I'm just not a big fan.
I'm also not a fan of oregano.
My go-to is
I am big time. I
like
love it.
Mexican cuisine. Like I can eat Mexican 3 meals a day, man.
Which that's something we could talk about probably for nuggets. Your hot sauce coming back.
Oh, that's putting the cart
All
before
right.
the horse. It's a little premature.
Well, then I can talk about one. I finally went to Cappy's.
Cappy's, the sandwich place.
Yeah,
That we went to when it was supposed to close down.
yeah,
And we couldn't. There. Yeah. Tell me.
yeah. Has anybody been?
I went
All right.
years and years.
I gotta
ago.
tell you, dude, it was pretty fucking good.
Okay.
Now, I will tell you, I took some notes. Here's what I wrote. Scumbags running around screaming profanities in a wheelchair. That was a lunch on a Tuesday.
Nice.
That's what I wrote. Is that you eat outside and there was scumbags in wheelchairs yelling profanities very loudly.
That sounds
in
great.
the middle of lunchtime. Now, getting to the food.
You mean the guests?
Yeah, there's just people there hanging out, screaming fucking profanities in a wheelchair, just not eating. Just that's what's going on that corner
Was
in
it
Maitland.
was it directed in a conversation or was it just
It was
somebody hanging
directed
out?
to the man in the sky, I think.
Okay,
just
I got it,
yelling
all right.
up in the sky.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Brown bag special.
Yeah, yeah. So I got the turkey, and it was fantastic. The bread's super thin, which I like. It's got like a good crust to it, but it's not super thick with bread. It's like actual cut off turkey, not, just boar, which I love boar's head, but I expect more than that from a place like that, and it's better.
You mean turkey like day after Thanksgiving?
Not quite that thick. So what I picture is that somebody's got a big turkey breast back there,
Yeah.
and they're cutting it thin. But cutting. It's
but
not
it's
like
not deli.
chunks.
It's not deli
Correct.
processed.
Correct.
Okay.
It's not like this fucking slicer
Yep.
from a crushed together turkey. It's like a turkey breast that somebody's slicing the best they can and keeping it thin enough that it's not the big chunks, but thicker than the thinly
Yeah.
sliced deli meat. Shredded lettuce. They don't have pickles, which pissed me off. They had banana peppers, which are pretty good, but it was excellent. I liked it. Reasonably priced. It's just go
What'd you
there.
pay for a sandwich?
I think it was $9 for a turkey sandwich, and then I got a bottle of
That's-
water. It ended up being
That's
like
almost
$12.
Point Break pricing.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do? Give me two. Utah,
Yeah.
give me two. So I think that's the only one we got time for. I got a couple more, but I'll hold off till the next
Oh
one.
my. And just like that, we've reached the end of another episode. What is this? 96, baby.
Yeah, we got 97 today, and then we got 98, 99, and then April 12th, everybody, the biggin.
Hey, also, wait, is this going to air before Hop Hannibal? Oh, damn it.
Well, hopefully you guys all came and partied with us at Hop Hannibal last Thursday.
All right, thank you for listening. Special thanks to the Wizard of Ed and the Intuitive Muse. Please hit like and subscribe. Leave comments, questions, and requests. Connect with us on social media adventures throughout the week. T-Bone out.